Since you are now capable of writing expressions with rational exponents as radicals, let us now learn how to simplify radicals expressions through the following laws on radicals. Let's assume that when n is even, then a is greater than 0. For our first rule, we have nth root of a raised to n equals a raised to n over n, where n is the exponent, so magiging numerator siya. Yung n na index dito, magiging denominator, and that is also equal to a raised to 1, where n over n is 1, and that is a only, okay? So, we follow the rule in the first example. We have cube root of 4 raised to 3. Now, let's try this one. So, we can write this expression as an exponential form. So, we have 4 raised to 3 over 3. So, ito yung numerator natin. Ito yung denominator natin. So, same lang naman sila. So, we can write it as 4 raised to 1 because 3 over 3 is 1. And so, I think the final answer is 4 only. Okay, so that is the final answer. So, for our next example, we have a square root of 64. So, anong gagawin natin dyan? So, in this case, we need to look a perfect number. So if the number 64 is a perfect square number, then we can just simply simplify this one, no? So square root of 64, I think that is also equivalent to square root of 8 times 8. Okay? So equivalent din siya dito sa 8 raised to 2 kasi dalawa yung 8 natin dyan. So I think pwede natin ilabas si 2, no? So we have square root. So meron dito yung square root, di ba? Of 8 raised to 2. And kapag finalo natin yung first rule natin, we have 8. Okay? So we have 8 raised to 2 over 2. We have 8 raised to 1 and 8 only. Okay? So ganun lang. Ganun natin siya i-follow yung first rule. And now, let's proceed to the second rule. For our rule number 2, so we have nth root of A times nth root of B equals nth root of A times B. No? As you can see, yung nth root dito, pinagsama na lang sa iisang bahay. At yung A and B, pinagsama din sa loob ng iisang bahay. Okay, so ganun yung gagawin natin dyan. For our first example, we have square root of 50. So, anong gagawin natin dyan? No? So, I think we need to find a perfect square number na multiples ni 50, no? I suggest square root of 25 is great. So, square root of 25, yes, that is multiple of 50. 50 divided by 25 is square root of 2. Am I right? So, 25 times 2 is 50. Okay? So, ngayon, ah, wag muna nating madaliin yung square root of 25, no? Sundin muna natin yung first rule natin. So, we have square root. We can write this square root of 25 na 5 squared or 5 times 5, no? Parehas lang yun. So, square root of 2. Next, from the rule number 1, pwede natin ilabas itong exponent na to. So, square root of 5. Lagyan natin ng parenthesis. So, raised to 2, square root of 2. And then, from the rule number 1, we can convert this one as in the exponential form. So, we have 5 raised to 2 divided by 2. Okay, since square root nga yan, di ba? So, ito yung numerator natin, yung exponent. Ito yung denominator natin, no? Now, yung square root of 2, okay, same lang yan, yung square root of 2. Kasi nga, yung exponent naman ni 2 ay 1, mas malaki pa rin yung index sa 1. Okay, kasi yung index natin dito is 2. So, hindi na natin babaguhin yan. Okay, simplify natin. So, we have 5 raised to 2 over 2. So, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 5 raised to 1, square root of 2. And, I think the final answer is 5. 5 square root of 2. And this is the final answer. Okay, for example number 2, sa rule number 2 natin, we have cube root of negative 32x to the 5th power. Okay, so ganito ang gagawin natin dyan. So we have cube root of gawa ko ng malaking bahay, no? Paghihiwalayin ko yung negative 32x to the fifth, no? Dito, hanap na tayo ng dalawang number, okay? Na may perfect cube kasi cube yung given natin dito. So, we have negative 8. Okay? 8 times 4. So, dito, si x to the fifth, pwede natin siyang paghiwalayin as x cube times x squared. So, bakit naging ganyan yung form niya? So, we all know that 8 times 4 is 32. So, 8 times 4 times negative 1 is negative 32. Okay? And then we all know from the laws of exponent that x to the third times x raised to 2 is x to the fifth. Where the base ay kinokopya lang and din yung exponent ay ina-add. So, bakit ganyan? Bakit yan ang pinili natin? So, unahin natin itong mga numbers. Since nga, ang given natin na root dito is cube, kailangan din cube, perfect cube number ang ilalagay natin ditong isang number na multiple din ni 32. So, tingnan natin guys, no? So, we have, paano ba natin nalalaman yung perfect cube number? So, we have 1 cube, that is 1. 2 cube, we have 8. Okay, nakita nyo na, no? 3 cube, we have 27. And as you can see, kitang-kita natin na si 8 ay perfect cube number. Okay? So, and when we divide 32 sa 8, ang result niyan ay 4. Okay? Kaya siya naging 4 yung katabi niyang number dito. Okay? So, now, what about x cubed and x squared? So, bakit naging ganyan? Bakit yan ang pinili natin? Kaya nang sinabi ko kanina, cube yung given natin na root dito. So, ibig sabihin, yung isang factor dapat ni x to the fifth ay may cube din. Okay? So, bakit hindi x raised to 1 and x raised to 4? The question is, di ba sir, equal naman yan sa x raised to 5? Yes, that's true. Pero as you can see, wala naman dyang cube na given. Ang given nga natin dito is cube. Diba? Dapat may cube yan eh. So, hindi natin pwedeng gamitin to. Although, equal siya sa x to the fifth. No? Ang pinakabagay gamitin dito is x cube and x squared. So, ayan yon dalawa. Dalawang perfect cube number. Now, so we have cube root. Okay, gawa ulit tayo ng sariling bahay dyan. Ngayon, pwede pa natin i-simplify kasi si 8 eh. So, we have 8. Magiging 2 raised to 3 yan. Ito naman si 4 magiging 2 raised to 2. Diba? 2 cube is 8. 2 squared is 4. Okay? So, ito, sige, ganyan lang muna siya. X cube, then x squared. Okay? So, ngayon, dito na yung time para maghiwa-hiwalay sila ng bahay. So, dito si negative 1, hindi nyo napansin si negative 1 dyan. So, may negative 1 dyan. Okay? So, times cube root of, okay, dito na tayo sa pangalawa number. So, we have 2 cube, 2 raised to 3, times, ito naman, cube root of 2 raised to 2, ayan yon, di ba? Yung pang-apat, x cube, so times cube root times cube root of x cube din. And then yung pinaka-last, yung x squared natin. Cube root of x squared. Okay, so yan, no? Though magkakahiwa-hiwalay sila ng bahay, iisa lang naman din yung address nila. At yung address nila is number 3. Yung root na 3. Okay? So ngayon simplify nga natin guys, cube root of negative 1, no? Kapag tinype nyo yan sa calculator nyo, ang sagot dyan is negative 1 pa rin. Okay? So, negative 1 yan. Diba? Ito naman, yung cube root of 2 raised to 3, pwede natin i-apply yung rule number 1 natin. No? Pwede natin siyang isulat na cube root of 2 raised to 3. So, nilabas ko lang muna siya, di ba? Or, pwede na siyang isulat na ganito para hindi na kayo nahihirapan. So, 2 raised to 3 over 3. Okay, from rule number 1, take note of that. So, dito, ito, ano napansin nyo dito sa exponent natin and index natin? Anong mas malaki? Index ba yung exponent? Kasi kapag equal or mas malaki yung exponent natin dun sa index, ibig sabihin pwede nating i-apply si rule number 1. Though, pwede nating i-apply si rule number 1 dito, pero hindi natin makukuha yung gusto nating makuha kapag in-apply natin si rule number 1 dito. So I suggest na ganun pa rin siya, no? Or you can even simplify 2 raised to 2, that is 4. So ganun na lang siya, no? Para hindi na tayo nahihirapan. What about this one, no? Cube root of x cube. And as you can see, kapag nga equal yung exponent natin dun sa index or mas malaking exponent natin sa index, then pwede nating i-apply sa rule number 1. So we have x raised to 3 over 3. Di ba? O, emphasize ko lang tong cube root, no? Cube root of 2 raised to 2. Bakit hindi natin ginawang ganitong form? Kasi kapag ginawa natin ganung form yan, so we have 2 over 2 raised to 2 over 3. Okay, as you can see, wala naman tayo na simplify dyan, no? 2 over 3 will stays the same kapag sinimplify natin yan, no? 2 raised to 2 over 3 pa rin. Or 3 cube root of 2 raised to 2 pa rin yung magiging sagot dyan. Okay? Yung magiging form nitong given na to. So, kaya, sinimplify na lang natin yung 2 raised to 2. Kaya siya naging 4. Okay? So, next. What about this cube root of x squared? So, same lang din siya dito sa cube root of 2 squared natin. So, we have cube root of x squared. Okay? So, para mas makita natin ng mas maigi, tignan nyo na lang kung yung exponent ay mas maliit kesa dun sa index. Okay? I-remain na lang natin yan sa loob ng bahay at i-simplify na lang natin. Pero kapag ang exponent ay equal o mas malaki dun sa index, pwede natin i-simplify yan at gamitin ng rule number 1. Okay? So ngayon, ang next na gagawin natin ay i-simplify natin. So negative 1 times 2 raised to 3 over 3, we have 2 raised to 1. Okay? Next, we have cube root of 4. So we have cube root of 4 times x raised to 3 over 3. We have x raised to 1. Okay? Cube root of x squared. Same lang po yan. So, cube root of x squared. Pagsasama-samahin natin yung mga numbers na nasa labas ng bahay, okay, kagaya ni negative 1, 2 raised to 1, at x raised to 1, at yung mga numbers na nasa loob ng bahay. Okay, ito yon. So, cube root of 4 and cube root of x squared. So, yung labas ng bahay muna, negative 1 times 2 raised to 1 times x raised to 1. So, we have negative, okay, negative 2 times x, we have negative 2x. Okay? And then, magdodrawing ako dito ng bahay. Cube root. Okay? From rule number 2. Okay? Kapag may numbers daw, na same naman yung root. Okay? As you can see, same ang root nito. Cube, cube. Pwede natin siyang pagsamahin. Okay? So, 4 times x squared. So, we have 4 times, okay? 4 times x squared is 4x squared. And this will be the final answer. Okay? So, dito pa lang natin na-apply, okay? Dito pa lang natin na-apply yung rule number 2 natin. And that will be the final solution for this two given example. We have third rule. Nth root of A over B equals nth root of A over nth root of B, where B is greater than 0. As you can see, parang pinaghiwalay lang yung nth root dito. Napunta sa nth root of A sa numerator at nth root of B. Pero same pa rin naman yung root niya. N pa rin. Okay? Dapat daw si B ay greater than 0. Now, let's have the first example. Third root of negative cube root of negative 64 over x raised to 6. Okay, apply natin yung third rule natin. Cube root of negative 64 and then cube root of x raised to 6. Pwede pa nating i-simplify yan, no? So, I think 64 is a perfect cube number. So, why? 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64. Okay? 64 is perfect cube number. So, pwede natin siyang isulat as cube root of negative muna sa labas times 4 cube. Since 4 cube is 64, no, 64 times negative is negative 64. Next, we have cube root of x to the 6th power. So, again, let's apply the first rule dito sa given na to, no? We have we have cube root of negative 4. Yung exponent ni 4, ilalabas natin ng parentheses. Okay? So, dito, we have cube root of x raised to 6. Okay? Yung 6 dito na exponent ay nilabas sa parentheses. And then, if we simplify pa yan, so meron tayong negative 4 from rule number 1 to, guys. So, 3 over 3. Then, x raised to 6. Yung numerator over the index and denominator natin. So, negative 4 raised to 3 over 3, that is negative 4 raised to 1 or negative 4 lang. Okay? So, ito ay 1, di ba? Negative 4 na lang siya. Ngayon, x raised to 6 over 3, 6 divides 3, that is x squared. Okay, and this will be the final answer. As you can see, in-apply ko dito yung rule number 1. Okay? Sa part na to. For our second example, in rule number 3, we have square root of x raised to 24 over 9. So, ganito lang gagawin natin dyan. Let's apply first the rule number 3. Pag-iwalay natin siya ng bahay. So, x raised to 24. Meron din square root sa ilalim ng tulay. So, square root of 9. Ngayon, try natin muna i-apply yung natutunan natin sa rule number 1. So, we can write this one as a square root of x raised to 24. Nilabas ko ng parenthesis. Dito sa square root of 9, I think that's a perfect square number. Square root of 9 is 3. Diba? So, from the numerator, so we have x raised to 24 divided by 2. Kasi nga 2 yung index dito. So, we have 3 sa denominator. So, x raised to 24 divided by 2, that is x raised to 12 over 3. And this will be the final answer. Okay, I know you are about to skip this video dahil nakita niyo yung rule number 4 natin. Pero, hayaan nyo muna explain ko muna sa inyo para mas maintindihan nyo pa. Okay, so, rule number 4, mth root of nth root of a. So, double root, guys, no? So, pwede daw siyang isulat as m times n root of a. No? Pwede pa lang isulat na n times n. So, pwede pagsamahin ng dalawang root sa labas, no? So, ito, guys, no? Yung n and m, pwede siyang isulat as 1. At pwede rin pala siyang i-interchange, no? From m, nasa labas ng root, napunta sa loob ng root din. Yan. So, pwede siyang pag-interchange. So, pwede siyang maging ganito, no? Nth root of mth root of a. So, pwede siyang pagsamahin, pwede siyang pagbaligtarin. So, ganun lang yung rule number 4 natin. Now, for the first given is 6th root of 4. Pag nakakita kayo ng ganyan, ano bang pwede nyong gawin? So, pwede natin siyang isulat as 3 times 2. Hanap tayo ng factor ni 6, no? 3 times 2. Okay? Root of 4. Pwede siyang ganyan, di ba? So, 3 times 2 is 6. 4. So, ngayon, pwede natin siyang isulat na ganito, no? 3 or cube root Ayan, cube root of square root. Ayan, square root of 4. Bakit? Kasi yung 4, di ba perfect square number yan? So we have 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. Perfect square number siya guys, no? Kaya pag in-square root nyo yung 4, alam nyo na yung sagot. 2, di ba? So, ngayon, we have cube root of, ayan, so sulat muna natin para mas maintindihan natin ng mas maigi. Square root of 2 squared. No, pwede nating i-apply yung rule number 1 dito sa loob ng bahay. Ayan. Or we can just simply, no, para shortcut, cancel this one. Now, we have cube root of 2. Ayan. So, yan yung sagot natin. Cube root of, so emphasize ko lang ito guys, no, hindi ko siya ano talaga, kung ayaw niyo yung shortcut, ganito ang gawin nyo. So, cube root of 2 raised to 2 over 2, di ba? Is also equivalent to the cube root of 2 raised to 1. And same lang siya dito sa final answer natin. Okay? So, ganyan lang siyang ginawa. Hanap ka lang dalawang factor, 3 times 2, no? And apply mo yung rule. So, yung 2, no, mapunta sa loob kasi alam naman natin yung 4 is perfect square number. Kaya square root siya yung nasa loob ng bahay. Then, apply nyo yung mga rule na tinuro ko sa inyo from first to third. And this is the final. And you will see the final result. For our second example, and our last example, is cube root of square root of 27. Guys, ang daming root dito, no? So, anong gagawin nyo dyan? No, apply pa rin natin yung rule number 4. So, I think the best way is to interchange, no, yung index natin. Since ito may index diyan na 2, so pwede natin siyang i-interchange. Ilipat natin sa kabila. Ito ililipat natin dito. So, pwede siyang isulat as square root of cube root of 27. Ito na guys, di ba? Na-interchange na natin. Ngayon, simplify natin. So, square root of 27, is that a perfect cube number? From the previous example, parang nabigay ko na siya. Try pa rin natin. 1 cube is 1. 2 cube is 8. 3 cube is 27. Yes, that's a perfect number. And ang equivalent niya ay 3 cube. So, apply natin yung first rule natin. So, square root of, so kahit huwag natin isulat yung square na number, yung 2 na number, pwede natin siyang isulat as 3 raised to 3 over 3. Diba? From the first rule, review nyo yun. Square root of 3. 3 divided by 3, 1. So, we have square root of 3. Yan ang final answer natin. Square root of 3. So, ganun lang siya kadali, no? Interchange, yung second example natin, interchange nyo yung square at yung third root or yung cube root. And then after nun, ayan, since 27 is a perfect cube number, and we can even apply the rule number 1 para makuha nyo yung final answer natin. Take note of the number. Dapat malalaman nyo agad yung number kung perfect square number or perfect cube number. And I hope you learned something about this lesson. And for the next lesson, we will simplify radicals. Okay? From the laws, from the rules na itinuro ko sa inyo, we will simplify radicals na. Thank you for listening, guys. Goodbye and God bless.